today. Yes, it definitely does still exist today. It has changed, I think, over the decades, because racism used to be very in your face. Like, with the different segregation, everything was like clearly separated. There was a clear line between what people thought and said compared to now, where everything, there's more of a gray area. I think that people who grew up, I guess like before the baby boomers, or like the actual baby boomer time, they still had a lot of impressions from their parents and grandparents who went through the more defined black and white racism, compared to millennials now, where everything is gray and opinionized on how things should be or supposed to be. It could be that people are still afraid because they don't know how people will take, or how people can approach it by saying something. Like, because people are so offended now than how they used to be. Like, things used to be where you could say something, people would take it at face value, or they'll just be like, you know what you mean about it, or they wouldn't be so sensitive. I think that's what it is. People are more sensitive about it now. People, they don't have like a thick skin. They absorb everything like it's personal to them. I'm just gonna assume, like, back in, the 80s, things were taken not so seriously, because people were still dealing with it. It was still fresh. So I think people were more used to it. But now we're trying to make things more equal, and being out in public and being with government and laws, and trying to force the civil way, or the way that people want it to be, down everyone's throats, that people are fighting it. They grew up, no, that's not how I was raised, or that's not right this way or that way. So I think racism just changed in how people are perceiving it, but it's definitely still around. I don't think it will disappear, not for a long time still, because people will have that fear of what people will think about something. Like, even when you're writing something on social media, or in like newspapers, or even you're doing a commercial or a movie, you have to have that in the back of your mind. How are people going to react? How are people going to interpret this if I say something this way, or if this couple is together? How are people going to react? You don't know. You don't know if people are going to be more sensitive to it. You don't know if people are going to be like, oh, that's just how it is. You don't know how it is going to be. There have been improvements. I think people are more open to different times and changing. They are being more open to it. They are being more open to that. It needs to be more equal. People are given more chances. But I think it's all about letting people be individuals. Don't fall into the stereotype. Don't let the mass generalization become who you are. If you have to change as a person before you could change the people, and it's going to take a lot of people to really make a big difference. If you're trying to eliminate racism, which honestly I think is always going to be impossible. There's always going to be differences in people. It's just the fact that we have to accept the differences. But there's always that fear. It's natural. Humans have a fear of what they don't know, or what they don't understand. So, I don't know. It's kind of that sense that, can the new generation be taught in a way that, yes, everyone is equal. Yes, everyone has contributions that can help the society, can help other people. Everyone has ideas. Some are not good, some are not necessarily bad, but I don't believe that until everyone actively tries to get rid of racism will it actually be possible. And coming from, a different country, coming from the north to the south, there's a sense of, yes, they know what's right and wrong, and then they have the sense of, well, I know it's wrong, but this is how I grew up, so they tend to just stick to how they are taught. And then there's the sense of, it's been this way forever, it's never going to change, why am I going to be the one that's different? So it all depends on the person. How are they going to react? How are they going to take the challenge to be the difference, to mentor the difference in their kids and, in a community? Yeah, it's going to take a lot of different people to change how their mindset is. There have been improvements, in all type of situations. It just depends on which one you want to focus on. But overall, I think it has gotten better, while some aspects of it haven't changed enough. But it's going to take a lot longer for people to be more accepting, because people have to come to the understanding that fear should not hold them back from accepting people. It's going to be other people that help them survive, and you're not going to reject somebody's help just because of how they look or their different belief or whichever you don't agree with or don't understand. It takes a lot to get over the fear, and that is what ultimately I think racism is. It's a fear, and having that being a natural part of our minds, fear is something that is difficult to overcome. So it's about more inner processes than I believe a greater whole, and that takes definitely more time and patience to actually work people's thoughts through so they can understand.